Hey, it's Rickafix. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over my Fuji MiniMite 4 gravity fed spray gun, the G-XPC. Phenomenal spray gun. Phenomenal turbine too. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put my Kills Max in here that I thinned down 10%. You only have to thin latex down 10% to get it through this Fuji MiniMite 4 series. It's that good. So I'll put it in here. I'll do a couple spray patterns, and then I will do a thorough cleaning. I'll take the whole thing apart, clean it, and put it back together again for you. I don't know who Kim is, but I don't even know if it's her birthday, but my brother's a sign painter, and I'm going to start him up a YouTube channel. It's either going to be called Mark the Sign Guy or Mark Sign Guy. I'm not too sure. Google is fighting me on that one. And I just wanted to thank everybody for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. There's many more to come. I did a review on this Fuji MiniMite 4, so I'll put a link up there as well. So click on that and tell me what you think. And I also just did a 4-part series on a kitchen I sprayed with this Fuji MiniMite 4. That came out phenomenal. So I'll put a link up there as well. And again, I appreciate everybody watching these. All right, well, let me get the camera situated, and I am just going to put the primer in here, and I left the turbine here. Usually I have the turbine out in front of the house, away from here. This thing is pretty loud. I didn't get the quiet one. So I just want to show you how loud this thing actually is. If you got an extra $200-300 laying around, buy the Q series. It's a lot quieter. But then again, you can't have this in the spray area because the filters get clogged up with the little bit of overspray that there is. So let me just shoot these test patterns and we'll start cleaning. Yeah, pretty loud. Alright, that ran enough paint through it. Let me take some things apart and then move the camera around. The first thing I do is I pull the little suction tube out of here. You push in that little red thing, pull that out, loosen this 400cc can, and pull it out. Take the top off. As you can see, it's pretty dirty. I just drop it in there. I just have hot water with a little bit of pine saw in there, and I bought a new toilet brush. Don't use an old one. This is a good gun. Go buy a new one for a couple bucks. And then I just dunk it in there, and this toilet brush is the perfect size for this thing. It just clean it in and out. It doesn't take any time at all. And then once I have it clean, the outside, I grab one of the brushes that they supplied, and I just clean out the little holes in here. If you get the right size brush, just get it wet and clean it out, and that's all good to go. And then what I'll do is I'll take this, just rinse it a little bit, trying to get some of that paint off, and then I'm going to put it back on here. I don't know why this is fighting me. It's fighting me because I'm filming it. That's why it's fighting me. Put this thing back on here. Grab the lid at the bottom of the bucket. Usually I do this in the sink. Make sure the top's all clean. Put it back on here. Put your suction tip back in there. Remove this bucket. Take the top off. And then just fill it up with some clean water. Usually hot. Put the top back on, tighten this, make sure this is tight, and then I grab an old bucket, hook it back up, turn the Fuji turbine on. I put it out in front of the house so it's not as loud, and then I'll just spray through it. I'll open up the valve as much as I can, and I'll just spray it. And I'll let it go for maybe half of the can or so. And what that does, it cleans the inside out. It's not that difficult to take the brushes and clean the inside, but I just find this a lot easier. So once I do that, I'll test my spray pattern, and there's no more paint coming out of there. So I turn it off, take the top off, empty out the water, take this off, and then I'll start taking it apart. So let me get some things situated. Okay, now that the gun is kind of cleaned, I'm just going to take it apart here. Take the top off, take this can off again. You know, in the beginning I was cleaning this outside of this can thoroughly, so it was spotless, but it just got it's got a little old. You know, you can also take painter's tape and tape it up before you start spraying. Pull the suction cup off, take the tip off, and what I do is I just grab a bucket of hot water, throw everything in there, let it soak, take the pressure knob off the back here. There's a little spring here as well. You take that off. You pull the trigger in to pull out the needle here. Be careful of that needle. The thing's like 45, 50 bucks. You place it in there, and then you take your little tool here that they give you, and you take this little nut off. This little nut tightens the little neoprene O-ring in there, and it prevents paint from coming back out on you. So I put that in the bucket too. Don't lose that, because you will not be painting if if you lose that. And then grab a 10 millimeter wrench and just take the nozzle tip off. And when you tighten it, just tighten it so it's nice and snug. And then you put everything in there, and then the gun is pretty much disassembled. There's nothing really else you need to do. So what I usually do is just soak this and run the brush. Now with the gun, what I do is I just soak the front of it. The Fuji says don't soak it all because you don't want to get water in the other parts that don't have the paint in it. And then I just take their brushes and I go in and out every hole, soak it again, go in and out the front hole. Now this front hole goes through the back where the pin is, and make sure you go all the way through there. And you can see inside these things, and if it looks clean, it looks clean. And then with the outside of the gun, whatever coating they put on here is great, because all you got to do is get one of these little scruffy dishwasher pads, and the paint comes right off. You know, as you can see, it's not even sticking. I know in the beginning, like I said with that can, I used to make it spotless, but now I just, you know, clean it so it's, you know, presentable. I like to take care of my stuff, especially when it's expensive. You know, this thing was $750, and then I threw another $125 maybe into it. But you know, it's nice to have a. You pull your gun out of the container, and it's nice and clean. It just I like it a lot better. All right, so this one's pretty much clean. So I'm going to put this aside, and then let's get to the internal parts of it. Here's the needle, and once again, I just grabbed that little household cleaner, and I. You know, carefully wipe this down. I don't want to scratch this up or anything. I just want to make sure it's clean. Like I said, this thing's probably 45, 50 bucks for this thing. And it's made out of stainless steel, and it's really nice. So all you got to do is take care of it, and it should last forever. Now here's the little nut that you don't want to lose, or else you will not be spraying. And you know, they give you these little brushes, and every brush you have cleans it well. And like I said before, you can see inside, and you can see if there's any caked on paint or anything, but you know, so far everything's pretty good. Now here's the little part, the spray tip part, where the air comes out to hold the overspray down. And what I do is from the front side, I grab the second to smallest one, and you can take it and put it on the inside, and goes all the way through to the back side there. And you could do it with that hole, and you could do it with the small hole as well. So I just stick them in there, make sure it comes through, and it's all clean. And then you got two real tiny holes on the front of here, and they give you a real small one for that one as well. And then you just make sure it's clean. Wash it off, go to the side. This little cover you can just wash off with this household dishwasher scrubby pad. And then you got the actual tip here, and once again you just you find out which size goes through there, and then you just clean it off. And usually it's caked on the outside of the tip here. So I just grab this pad or one of these brushes too that work well. And this side's bigger, so you just bring your brush in, twirl it around, and you can see in there and see if it's caked on or not. This one's pretty clean. Now that I'm putting it back, it's time to start oiling everything. There's a little neoprene washer in there, so I just put some oil in there. I don't know if Fuji sells oil or not. I just used that Wagner from my big airless. And then you screw this nut back in there. You know, they give you this little tool to tighten this nut right here. But when I'm not spraying, I just do it so it's hand tight, because I don't want to crush that little neoprene washer down there. And then all you got to do is put this front tip back on there. But this one, you have to tighten it up. You know, you take your 10 millimeter and you just make sure it's snug. You don't want to over tighten it. You know, you'll feel when it's tight. And then you take your, I think it's a 1.5 needle, and then you slip it in there. You grab your spring, which is right, where's the spring? Right here. You don't want to lose these parts. You won't be spraying. And then again with this one too, I just put the nut back on there so it's on there. I don't make anything tight because I want it to have some play. And then I put oil on the needle here, and then I just keep on pressing it in and out so everything gets oil. I open it up and I put oil down this little hole here, and then back here the little piston that goes back into the trigger, there's a little plastic ring back there that gets oil as well. And you really, you know, once these are sitting in the box, you really can't oil them up enough because they're just sitting there, and you always spray your paint through there to test anyways in the beginning, so you'll get rid of all that excess oil. And then the top goes back on there. Again, I do not tighten this as tight as I can. I just make sure it's snug and fit. Put the can back on there. Now this can, I have probably used this maybe 50 times or so, and I bought some new O-rings and tubes for this as well. But I'm noticing the new O-rings for the top of the lid here, they're not sealing as well as the original, so I gotta look into that. But when I store this, I do not have the lid on there. You shouldn't have the lid on there because you don't want to compress that O-ring again. So you just attach your hose, your rings, and that's pretty much it, and you're all good to go. You know, it's pretty simple. And you know, if I did this in the sink, it would take me probably 5 minutes to clean this whole thing. But to take it apart and spot clean it, it would probably take a half an hour. So yeah, I just wanted to show you how the final step to this process is I like to dry the gun out. So I just hook it back up, turn the turbine on, and then spray it till you don't see any more water. Spray it till it's dry, and then what that also does is it takes the oil that you put in there and separates it. So I just disconnect it. I take my tube out, take the top off, remove the 400cc can, and then I put it in. One thing I really like about this Fuji MiniMite 4 is that it's small. So everything that I need to go to one of my jobs is in here to start spraying, and it's excellent. All you do is fit everything in this tub except for the 50 feet of hot water hose and the 25 foot of I'm all good to go. You know, I have probably used this Fuji 50 times since I've bought it, and every time it has just worked phenomenal. I really, really like this gun. I just wish that they would make a 200cc can. I know 3M makes something for this thing, but it's like $150 or something. But, you know, maybe I'll ask Fuji to make me something. Who knows? I just want to thank everybody for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And there's definitely more to come. Okay? I will see you on the next round.